Shalom. I really do comprehend or understand why people be needing mental health breaks. I be personally, myself into my feelings at times, getting tired. Not physically tired like I done lifted weights or whatever, but my mind be it be there. Sometimes dealing with folks in, I guess, how they position themselves in life, where they think everything's supposed to work to their favor when they doing wrong. And I'm like, wow, and I'm struggling to do right, but I see so many people that are doing wrong and they struggling to stay in that. It's like, man, you don't see no need to change that. You will admit that you're doing wrong, but your frustration is in getting called out and doing wrong. And I'm like, oh my. But I know a lot of times I'm one of them ultra sensitive persons and stuff like that. Stuff be bothering me sometimes, that I guess, the past generation didn't have to deal with because they didn't have this technology. I send out emails, I send out texts, and my stuff forever be left on red. As you say, they done read my message, but they don't reply. And then sometimes when they do reply, they like, why you send me this? It's like, I sent you that because I wanted you to read it. I wanted you to, share your thoughts on it. It's like, man, basically, it's almost literally like, why you bothering me? And I'm like, man, we supposed to be cool like that. I can't bother you. Why is it a bother that I'm reaching out to you? I'm like, man, maybe it just be better I don't reach out to you no more. Because, I'm like, it seems like I'm impeding on your time. I guess that's better than being left on red. At least they're asking. But I'm like, dang, I don't know what modernly friends, relationships is or whatever. But back to the mental health thing, as far as mental health, me having a mental health day, I trip out how I look at, I'm a Bible reader, so I'm tripping. I be tripping. I'm like, okay, I be seeing myself, Jeremiah, sitting up there, like, who am I almost, and of course, Yah had to let him know he knew him in the womb. I went through a period of time, questioning my relationship with the Most High, even questioning him, even having hostility towards him, and he had to let me know, I chose you from the beginning. You were pre-assigned. And when I started telling people that, that I was called or whatever, they, of course, yeah, why you? And I'm like, why not me? And I'm like, over and over, I see through the book, these men that basically, they were disregarded, ignored. And then, what? They stepped into position. Dawid was the last of all his sons, that was brought before Samuel, and his father wasn't even going to bring him before Samuel. He brought all his other sons, and then Samuel had to ask him, don't you got another one? This man that became king. I ain't seeking to be no king or nothing like that. Yah's my only king. But man, Jeremiah, he had to be told in the womb. You got all these different other people, that just basically, Moses. Moses was basically put in the water, raised up in somebody's house, and his own people consistently rejected him. Even as he was leader, they always was challenging his authority. I got authority over my house. I don't have no authority over nobody else. So, me being rejected as far as leadership, that don't faze me, because I've been rejected all my life, but it does kind of weigh on you. It weighs on me, I should say. I speak for me personally. It weighs on me that I'm not chosen by people. And what brings me to clarity is that I know I'm chosen of Yah. It still feels some type of way that I'm not chosen of people. That I'm the last one. I'm the afterthought. I'm like, sure. It told me up one time, like, guy was my close friend, and I introduced him or told him, have you considered this female? Because he was looking to, find someone to be with. And he took on that suggestion, but then when it came time to him, to seek her hand in marriage, he like, I want you to be there, but he didn't have a place for me in the wedding and everything like that. So I'm like, okay, all right, cool. But it kind of threw me off. He started mentioning about everybody else, but this person is the one who, introduced me to her. And I'm like, that ain't how that went. She went to the ministry that I was a part of, and I had told you, consider her. I'm like, but okay, that's how you want to remember it. Cool. You can't have people, you can't make makeups in the mind of somebody else what they see or what they believe. You can't do that. I remember the situation, because he was like, I don't know. And I kept pressing it, because I'm like, I seen them as a potential couple and stuff. And then eventually he pursued it. And the other person wasn't a part of the ministry I was. He wasn't a part of the ministry I was. He started coming over there to the ministry that I went to, and he wasn't there for me. He may have came with me, but he wasn't there for me. He was there for her. But yeah, I don't know. That I was going through some texts, and I seen that quite a few of my texts, as well as quite a few of my messengers to people that I'm close to, were left on red, and I already was going through stuff, dealing with work and stuff like that, and just needing some space. So I'm gonna enjoy this mental health day that I'm taking prior to the Sabbath, and clear my mind. Definitely the Sabbath is coming in, and I need a refresh. I need to rest my mind, but this extra day of rest, I'm out here running errands and stuff like that for Carter Inc. business, doing some Carter Inc. And that's doing that, my business is also mental health break, because I do that on my own. I don't need a mental health break from my wife, because she actually gives me life and refreshes me, but she got to work herself. So all right, man, hopefully this message or this video, when I post it, ain't left on red. Maybe some comments to show up. Shalom.